April of 2020, Mikey Williams was named National Freshman of the Year. In April of 2023, he was facing felony charges and 30 years in prison. By his senior season, Mikey Williams had gone from a possible #1 pick to a possible felon who would spend his best years behind bars. Did he ruin his life? Today, we're breaking down what went wrong with viral sensation Mikey Williams. Every bad step he took in a story that became one of the biggest collapses we've ever seen from a #1 prospect. We're also asking the biggest question left. Can Mikey Williams still make a comeback? But before you can make a comeback, you need to have extreme success first. And this story really begins back in 2018 when Bronny James first came into the national spotlight. Playing for the North Coast Blue Chips, Bronny and a group of middle school kids made their way to the USBA National Championship game, and along the way, they were drawing big-time crowds and big-time YouTube views. LeBron himself was often spotted in attendance of these games, creating even more of a show as the hype grew larger. Everyone wanted to know, was Bronny James the next LeBron? But as people watched Bronny, they soon discovered Mikey Williams. Before joining up with Bronny, Mikey was actually ranked the #1 7th grader in the nation and faced off against the Blue Chips, scoring 30 points in a game that had people shocked. Then once Mikey joined the Blue Chips, once all eyes were on him, he became a viral sensation. Not only was he again ranked the #1 player in his class as an 8th grader, but also he was throwing down dunks like this. But was true fame in the basketball community at this early of an age a good or a bad thing? Due to the tremendous hype he had already generated. As he entered his freshman season, Overtime partnered with Mikey on a documentary series named Fear Nothing. The first episode was humbly titled, "I'm the Best Player in High School Basketball." And this series took Mikey's fame to another level. His Instagram blew up. He soon had over 3 million followers, and as a freshman, his on-court play matched the hype. While Bronny was coming off the bench for Sierra Canyon on a team that had much older talent on the roster, Mikey was not only the star of his team, San Ysidro High School, he was, again, the National Freshman of the Year. In his first game, he had 46 points. In his next game, he had 50. Then on December 13th, the internet collectively lost its mind. As the opposing crowd showered him with overrated chants, Mikey scored 77 points in an absolutely dominant display. These types of numbers by a freshman were almost unheard of, and at this point, Mikey had developed a tremendous fan base. When you live in the gym, this is the result. Pure dedication, man. Imagine chanting overrated, then he drops 77 on your team's dome. Then also, I just hope he doesn't turn out to be like 7th Woods. Freshman with all the hype and doesn't do anything at the next level. But before we continue, I am very excited to thank Built Rewards for sponsoring today's video. If you are paying rent without receiving anything in return, let me introduce you to Built, the rewards program designed for renters who want to earn something for their largest monthly expense. Let me explain. By paying rent through Built, you earn flexible points on your rent payments that can be redeemed for hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. Built is about making your neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and earn additional points. Get VIP treatment at certain fitness studios. Get exclusive experiences just for Built members every month. Built is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. There's no cost to join, and you don't need to get your landlord involved to start paying rent through Built. So if you're not earning points on rent, what are you waiting for? Sign up for Built using the link in my description or the QR code that is on the screen right now, and make sure to use my URL so they know that I sent you. Thank you to Built for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into that video. But slowly, the cracks began to show. 247 Sports had Mikey ranked as the #2 player in his class on December 24th, 2020. Around 1 year later, Mikey had fallen to 13th as scouts began to pick apart his game. By the end of his high school career, ESPN had dropped Mikey all the way to to the 49th ranked prospect, no longer projecting him as a top pick or even an NBA first rounder. Instead, scouts saw him as a fringe NBA player at best. So what was happening here? In middle school and playing against lesser competition as a freshman, Mikey was always ahead of the curve athletically and was tall for his age. By the time his senior season had rolled around, Mikey was now undersized for the guard position, which is tough to adjust to when you've built your game on being able to use your size and strength to your advantage. The athleticism was still there, but in order to fully unleash his potential, Mikey needed to adjust his game. He needed to become a better shooter, a better playmaker, a better defender, and someone who learned to play at a high level at his height. Unfortunately though, Mikey was surrounded by yes men. Every single game he played was a sellout with fans chanting his name, creating a bubble where Mikey felt like he was doing nothing wrong. And due to this overwhelming popularity, Mikey fell into another trap: money. As a high school athlete, Mikey signed a contract with Puma that was reportedly worth over $3 million. Because of the incredible social media presence he had, along with the new NIL rules, Mikey was able to cash in on his name, and unfortunately, money doesn't always bring blessings. If we're being honest about motivation in general, making money is an extremely motivating factor in why so many players practice so hard and grind until they become truly great. Mikey was now getting paid more than a second-round draft pick while still playing in high school. To make things worse, in his junior season, Mikey joined Vertical Academy, a school founded by his own dad that had the players take online classes and whose basketball team was not a part of any real basketball league. Instead, this team traveled the country playing in basically exhibition type basketball games. It was here where Mikey developed some seriously bad habits. Scouts noticed that he wasn't trying on defense, that he was aiming for highlights that made him famous in the first place, and while his trainers have said that he was working hard, that he was trying his best to become a great player, the mentality to become a two-way basketball star at the next level was just not being shown on the court. For his senior season, Mikey was done with all of this. He did transfer back to San Ysidro, but for a top prospect, especially one who once was scoring 77 points in a game, his senior season stat line of 23.8 points and 9.2 assists per game was a little underwhelming. The thing is though, at this point in time, no one had written off Mikey completely. People did see him slip in the rankings, but they also saw his potential. Mikey would end up signing with Memphis, led by coach Penny Hardaway, an NBA Hall of Famer, and Penny promised to be a mentor for Mikey. However, it's here where Mikey Williams had the worst night of his entire life. On March 27, 2023, Mikey Williams got into an altercation with 6 people outside of his house. According to police reports, those 6 people left Mikey's house in a car that Mikey shot at. Bullet marks were found on the vehicle, but fortunately, no one was injured. Police got a search warrant. They found a handgun on Mikey's nightstand as well as other guns in his home, but they could not locate the gun that matched the one that created the bullet holes. Witnesses in this case also did not state that Mikey fired actual shots. However, this was extremely serious. As this case grew, Mikey was suddenly facing 9 felony charges that carried a maximum sentence of 30 years. It looked like right here, his life could be over, but then suddenly he was given a second chance. Due to the lack of evidence found, Mikey received a plea deal. He pled guilty to 1 felony count of making a criminal threat, and then he also pled guilty to a special allegation of using a firearm during the threat. As long as he did not get in more trouble while on probation, he would face no jail time. Instead, all he was ordered to do was complete a gun safety course, attend anger management sessions, and do 80 hours of community service. His life might not have been over, but his basketball career seemed like it was. During his trial, Mikey had lost deals such as Puma. He wasn't able to focus on practicing basketball, and after the court case was over, Mikey never joined Penny Hardaway and Memphis, instead deciding to transfer. Now, Memphis claims that they did not kick Mikey off of their team. They stated the university process for him to join the men's basketball program was underway, but Williams elected to explore his options at this time. However, Mikey said that he found out Memphis was going to review whether or not he could join the team in the 2025 season, so he ended up leaving before they had the chance to say no. which meant Mikey transferred to UCF. But if there were cracks in his game in high school, his flaws had broken wide open by now. In his freshman season, Mikey averaged just 5.1 points and 0.7 assists per game. He shot just 37.1% from the field and 28.1% from three. To be fair, Mikey did suffer a leg injury that affected him during his freshman season. But if we combine his fall in the recruit rankings in high school, his criminal case, and the fact that he still hasn't developed a reliable jump shot, we would have to come to the conclusion that it is very unlikely that Mikey Williams will bounce back. But despite all of this, is there still hope here? Despite these numbers, on his UCF highlight reel, he's still got elite talent. Everybody's still doubting him. Give Mikey the keys to a decent D1 team and he going top 10 in the draft for sure. And he deserves to be an NBA player. These people see the potential Mikey once showed in high school. And while UCF did not work out, the school Mikey transferred to, Sacramento State, might be the one place where the best comeback story we've ever seen takes place. Because Sacramento State has Shaq as their general manager. They have former 14-year NBA vet Mike Bibby as their head coach. Both Shaq and Bibby are planning to provide Mikey with the mentorship he needs to turn it around. If he puts in the work, that remains to be seen. But after everything he's went through, Mikey is happy to still have another chance. And there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Only if you did like the video though. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.